All right.
Thank you.
So today, I think we give enough time for everyone else. It's just us today so far. Today, I want to talk about a really cool feature that we can find in the CRMLS. Let me go to the web page. So no KvCore today. CRMLS right here. Come on, computer. There we go. I'm gonna log in right here. Okay. So whenever you guys log into your CRMLS, you always see these little bubbles right here, but I'm sure not many people actually click on them to find out what they are. And there's a bunch of cool apps right here. A lot of them are free, or at least there's some type of free membership that comes along that comes with your MLS subscription. Today, we'll be talking about these three right here: Cloud CMA, Cloud MLX, and Cloud Streams. The reason why I'm doing these three today is it's a little tough trying to, I want to talk about what you guys are struggling with or what you guys would like to know more about. And so far, I'm gauging that based on, how many people view which videos. And the most viewed so far was, how to build a listing presentation and interactive CMA. So it looks like a lot of people were interested in that one. And I've shown how to do that in KvCore in this video. This was 2 weeks ago, the 4th Tech Tuesday. So today we'll be learning these three, which is an alternative method of doing that, plus some extra features you have when you use these methods right here, okay? So I am going to click on, let's actually start up with Cloud MLX. You can click on any of the three, and the window that pops up, it has shortcuts to the other two. So when you click on those for the first time, you might have to create an email address, provide your name and maybe your MLS credentials. And then after that, it's free, it's included in your subscription, and you'll be able to use all the features. So the one we just clicked on, let me show you again, is Cloud MLX, okay? What this is a sleeker, more simple version of your CRMLS matrix. Let me actually click on this and open it up on the side. Let's get rid of this somewhere. Boom. So in the same way, you can search for properties, make filters, and create search saves. You can do the same under the Cloud MLX. Okay, it's much simpler. You just have an address bar. You can go ahead and type in whatever properties you're looking for. You can even search by an agent's name, price, whatever you could do on here, you can also do here, just in a simpler format. So for example, I'm just going to show you guys how cool this is right now. Say we want to search for a property in Torrance that's between $500,000 to $550,000, has a 1 to 2 bedrooms, 1 to 2 bath. So the way you would search that, instead of, let me admit people right here. So that would go like Torrance. Okay, it'll create bubbles for each of your search criteria. And as you type it in, it will update the results right here. So this is just like your search on the MLS. Instead of going under search, residential, detail, filling out everything, and this is a lot of information. On here, you can hone in on exactly what you're looking for much faster. So we're looking in Torrance. And if you want to see a property range between 500 to 550, all you would do is just literally type 500K to 550. And the system is smart enough to know that you're looking within that range, and it'll have a $sign right here. So that's an extra bubble. It'll refresh the results. And now you see all of the properties in Torrance that fall within that price range. If we want to hone in on even more specific properties, let's say properties that closed, I could just type closed, and it'll know that I'm looking for closed properties. If we want to search back as far as maybe 6 months, super easy. Let's just type 6 months. 6 months back, it'll have it in the drop down here. So this is a really cool and fast way to search properties, okay? You could do, 1 to 2 bedrooms. It'll automatically fill it in for you, and maybe 1 to 2 bathrooms. Okay, boom. So if I wanted to search for properties, if I wanted to make this search on the CRMLS, it'll work just the same way, but it takes more steps. I would have to check, boxes, scroll through what kind of property, city, and everything. It's much faster and much sleeker right here. Okay, and when you search for something, you can also name your search. Just in the same way you can save searches under the CRMLS, you could do so right here in a much simpler way. Let's just call this Tech Tuesday search. Okay, and I'll press enter, and that will save this search. Okay, so now the MLX, the software right here, will always remember this search. So if I go back right here and I go to searches, it'll be right here for you. You can always refer to that search in this section. Okay, and if I click on it, it'll bring me back with all of the criteria I typed. It's gonna get some use, you're gonna have to get used to, the keywords to use, or maybe, if you don't know how to have these shortcuts populate, you could just click on the little, this icon right here, and then you can manually, select what kind of criteria you want to include. But the gist of it is, this is very quick, it's very simple, and there's more features to this actually. So I'm gonna go back, and we're gonna go back to our searches. Let me close this. Searches right here, and then Tech Tuesday. So we've created this search in the MLX, okay? So right here, if we click on these 3 dots, it gives us options to copy the link to this search so that you can send it to someone else. You can email this search to a client. You can print, the agent view or the client view. So if I click on this first button right here, this will change it to what the client will see when you send it to them. Okay, so they won't have all of these little, buttons to tweak. It'll get rid of all that, and it's branded to you. All right, so once you send them an email through these, by clicking this the 3-dot button right here, they'll be able to see the search that you've created for them. Okay, and if I get rid of this, minimize this down here. And down here, I can go back to the agent view where I can tweak this search even further. On here, I can change how they're sorted, maybe from the lowest price to the highest, or vice versa. And on here, you can change the view. You can make it so it looks like this. You can just scroll through the address, price, and status, or you can have the little photos within the thumbnail, which is pretty awesome, okay? So we're gonna talk about the Cloud Stream in just a moment, but before we do that, I wanted to show you guys this quick way to search through properties instead of going through the matrix. The matrix can be scary at first. First time I learned the CRMLS, it was, there's a lot of information here. I don't know if it's just me, but it took some getting used to, because you have so much thrown at you. There's so much information you need to fill in. Sometimes you don't know what to include or what to include. This makes it very simple, and it yields the same results because it's linked to your CRMLS already. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here. Do we have any questions about the MLX before I move on to the next section? Did any of you guys know this feature existed, or have you guys ever clicked on?
Yeah, I was.
these
Yeah,
buttons right here?
I actually was thinking the same thing. I thought the matrix was for some reason more accurate, but you're right. Like the Cloud MLX is like a shortcut. It's just
Yeah,
more simpler, right? It's the same
exactly.
thing. Okay.
It literally
Where do
just
you
grabs the data.
where do you find the prices again? Just I know I was looking at my computer while you were doing that,
Sure.
like in the Cloud MLX, because when you click on the Cloud MLX and you on the property, it just gives you like the the square footage, I guess, amount, but
Oh, how do you also include the square footage? Is that what you mean?
no, I want to see the price of the home. You know how in the MLS you'll see like in the
Oh, what the
matrix, like
price is?
yeah,
Okay.
because I guess
Because
it has
it'll
a it has a price. Okay, wait a minute. Mine is different. Mine has like, for instance, I clicked on Downey.
okay.
I went to Downey and active, and it pulled up from lowest to high. But it has
Mhm.
like this. It has like the property I'm looking at right now says 2,700. It doesn't have like a, which is
Like
so weird.
what? The
Yes, it
property
has
costs
it. It's
$2,000?
yes, it says 2,700. You know how right there it says 500, 500.
Right.
I'm looking exactly, and I'm looking at active, and it
Okay.
says $2,000. So I'm a little confused. Like what? Okay,
Huh.
see, some properties have 4,500. And then moving
Interesting.
on, I do see some of them do have the correct one, like 475, 549. So that's weird. Okay,
Hmm.
all right. It's just some properties are not listed properly. It seems okay.
Yeah. Did you put a
All right.
time frame and everything?
No, I just put Downey active
Just
and
Downey?
then
Okay.
price low to high, low
I
to
have
high.
actually seen what you're talking about while I
Okay.
was, trying this out. It seems like the more detailed you get, the more accurate the information is. I don't know how how that comes to
Okay.
be because it pulls
That's
it
so
from your
weird.
MLS, but
Okay.
try to give it as much criteria as possible and you will have the information. And I've actually
Okay.
compared it to the matrix and it's congruent. So
Okay.
yeah, I've seen it
Okay.
once or twice. It's weird, I know.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do your searches right here. I think I have a question. Let's see. Oh, for sure, Mariceli. All right. So on here, really quick way to, do searches. From here, you can just, the little three dots, you can send them to a client. You can print this page. Looks really cool and really easy. If you're not comfortable searching this way, which I think is pretty cool. You could just, type away whatever you want and it'll automatically know. Something that's really cool too, you can actually type agents' names. So if you're trying to look up an agent, see what listings they have, or you want to contact them, you could just type their name and see what's going on. I don't know if you can, actually, you can do this with the Matrix using their, how do you say, their broker, their license number. But on here, I believe this actually hones in on everyone in your office. If we take Frank, for example, I would type Frank Casares and you would be able to see that it actually finds Frank. And if you click on this, you can see all the listings Frank has and you can click on them and, interact with them. So yeah, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you also have the map right here. If you click on the map, you could do a polygon search, just like on the CRMLS. You could do a square, polygon, or a radius. So just really quickly, I did the polygon. You could just click and select the area. Boom. There you go. And it'll show you everything within that area. And it'll populate right here under the search. And you can go ahead and add everything else you want, such as the price range like we did before, 500K to 600K in this area. And yeah, it's much more intuitive, I would say, than always going back under criteria, tweaking stuff, and then going back to results. Okay, it's less clicks, looks nicer, and it's less cluttered. Okay, and you should get the same results. I still encourage you to compare with the CRMLS because of sometimes apparently property prices are very weird. So do compare from time to time if something does not look right. Okay. And remember, you can always name your searches after you actually make the search so that you could go back to it or send it to a client or maybe another agent. You never know. All right. So this is the MLX right here. Okay. It's just a search bar. You can play around with it. It's really cool. And right here, searches is where you find your searches. Areas, you can go ahead and save areas as well or collections, but these will populate through the other features that I'm about to show you. So I'm about to move on to, let's see. Oh, we're going to click on here and we're going to go to the Launchpad.
Okay, so the Launchpad is basically the homepage for all the features I just said I would talk about today, all the cloud features, Cloud CMA, Cloud MLX, and Cloud Streams. So the Launchpad, I just got to it by clicking the arrow right here and then clicking Launchpad. It's not showing because I'm already on the Launchpad, but these are those three features we are talking about. We just saw the MLX, so now I want to talk about the Cloud CMA, which is really cool. So this enables you to create, CMA presentations for your, buyers or maybe even your sellers. You never know who's going to need one. It's always a good idea to make one, regardless of whether you're helping a buyer or a seller. So we're going to click on launch right here, and I'll take you through what that looks like. Okay, so once you click on Cloud CMA, you can go ahead and click on create a new report, and you can choose what the report is for. Today we'll just be doing CMA, but you can also create buyer tours, property reports, and flyers, which is pretty awesome. So let's click on CMA. And right here, you're going to have an option to name the client you're making this for. So let's call this client, me. I'm just going to put my name in here. And then you can add some private notes. This is notes that only you can see. You can add this on so that you can refer to them later. I'm just going to leave this blank for now. And then because this is a CMA, obviously you need a subject property. Okay, so let's take, I always like to do 123 Main Street. Let's go ahead and search that. Once you type in the property, you're going to start getting a drop down. You can choose it from there. This drop down comes from the CR MLS and the tax records. So if I was to choose any of these properties right here, it'll actually look for tax data and fill in as much information as those reports have. If it doesn't look right, go ahead and put the appropriate information for your subject property. So it looks like for this one, it couldn't pull the bed and the bath. And if we click on advanced info, you can also put more information about it. All the purple stuff right here is what it pulled from the tax records. Okay, so we're just gonna go with this property on Main Street right here. Let's just say it has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. Okay, once you have all of that information in there and you filled in all of the lot size, year built, and all that stuff, you are gonna scroll down here and you have the option to add your own comparables, or I don't know why they call it quick and dirty, but you can have Cloud CMA automatically find listings near the subject property and actually create the CMA for you. Okay, so we've seen this feature also in KvCore. KvCore looks really nice. It has its own presentation system. This one also has its own, and we'll kind of get to see the difference today, and you can choose whichever one you like better. So I'm just going to let the Cloud CMA do this for me. I'm going to check this button. We're going to automatically find listings near the subject property based on the address I just gave right here. Okay, you can choose how many listings you wanted to include. Starts at 10 all the way to 20, all the way to 50 right here. We'll just keep it at 10. You could change this later on the next screen to maybe a lower number if you wish, but it's going to find 10 by default. And you can choose how far back you want it to look for comparables. So I like to start off with 6 months always. We're going to keep it at that, but if you want to change that, you always have this drop down. You could go back as far as 3 years apparently. So let's stay on 6 months. You can also add more criterias by clicking this drop down, but I'm going to leave all this blank because I want as many comparables as I want. The more specific you get when doing CMAs, the more chances you have to leave out properties that might have been, good comparables. So you want to see everything and not miss anything. Okay, so I'm going to leave that as is, and then we're going to click on the button down below, fetch listings. Okay, get this away. Boom. All right, so that's going to load up. And then we'll get to the screen right here. I really like this map. I like the way it's slanted. It kind of gives you a an overview of all of the area and all the comparables it found. So this map right here will show you everything it found. If we scroll down here, you can see a summary of the listings it selected for you. So because we chose 10, we'll see 10 properties, 8 that were sold and 2 that are pending in the area that I've chosen, which is this address right here. Okay. So everything where you see the check mark, next to is the ones that it chose to include in the CMA. You can go ahead and actually click on details and adjustments here to see more information about them. You can tweak, the notes that are, under the listing description if you want, because this is all this right here you see is information the person who will be looking at the CMA will see. So you could go ahead and tweak all this or leave it as is. So I'm going to leave all this as is right now. You can see the photo, all the information of the property, features, and everything. Okay. And you could close this back by clicking here. So all these are the listings it could have chosen, but it chose these 10 right here because these closely match my subject property. On the right here, you have a summary of the prices, the lowest being at 735 and the highest being at almost 2.6 million. You have a median and average. All this is cool information for the buyer or seller to see, and this will be important when you get to that point where you have to have the conversation about what they should list their property at, or maybe what the correct purchase price for a property might be. Okay. So they can see all of this cool info right here. And if you don't want to include certain properties in the CMA, you could just uncheck them right here. And that will include less. So you can have less than 10, but by default, it'll have 10 selected for you. Okay. So we're just going to include these 7 right here, 2 pending, 5 sold. All right. Let's see. On here, up here, where it has the purple outline, you can actually set a price that you would like to list the property for based on the comparables you see down here. Okay, this can be a set price, or it can actually be a range. So I could put, based on the median right here, which is 1.74, I could say maybe we should list this between 1.6. So let's do 1.6 to 1.8. Just an example. This would be a terrible pricing range, most likely, but there we go. This right here, the person who will see the CMA will be able to see, and they will see your reasoning why you chose that price based on your CMA down there. Okay. And if you click on the little drop down here, you actually get to see, you have the option to add a net sheet. So for those of you guys who don't know what a net sheet is, it's a piece of paper that basically shows a seller what they will net after all the fees and, everything they have to pay for in the sale of their home. After all that, how much they net. You can, type in all the expenses, maybe closing costs, whatever you want, you can input in here. Let's say that for some reason is $1,000. And then I click save. It'll subtract that from the total expenses, and the seller will be able to see if we sold your property at, the set cost up here, we will net this amount right here. Okay. And you can add as many expenses as you want, and it will show that to the viewer of the CMA, which is pretty cool. So if you want to remove one, you can just press the little trash icon right here, and that'll get rid of that. Awesome. Do we have any questions so far? Is everyone following, or am I going a little too fast? Solid? Awesome, awesome. So this section right here is where you have control over what's included, what's not, and you can suggest a price. So on the map here, you have the option to move around. You can click on the properties, see more options, see their thumbnails and their address. And all the grayed out ones are the ones that are not included. Orange ones are pending, red ones are sold. And you know that because these are color coded, and you'll have all the meanings of each of the colors right here. Solds are red, pendings are yellow or orange. Okay. All right. So once you have this looking the way you want it to look, everything's looking good. You have all the right comps, the right price suggestion. You don't have to have anything on here, by the way. This is just a suggestion, but you can have something in there if you wish. Let me just put something back in there. 1.5 million. If I scroll down, we're going to click on Customize Report. Okay. So that's going to load up. Got a little ad right here. I'm going to close this. Okay, so this is the part where you're actually building the presentation, the layout of it, at least, that the viewer will see. So here you have a theme button, you have layout, template, fonts, even language. It's probably going to be English for 99% of us, but you have more options just in case. Oh, Spanish also. Theme, you have plenty of options. You can choose any colors. I like black and gold actually, so I'm going to leave it as that. And it kind of shows you a preview of what the presentation will look like, you know, when you change colors, just like this. Okay, so let's keep it at black and gold. So we're going to choose this theme. It'll apply that. And then you have the layout option. So this is all aesthetics, by the way. You can have your listings shown as, you know, a photo with a map with its location and all its details. You could have 2 photos. You can have a photo with as much data as possible, 2 properties per page, 4 per page, etc. I like the, actually, let's keep it like this. This looks nicer. Oh, so 2 properties per page right here. And then you have a template. If we click on template, so you can rearrange or tailor this presentation. This is also something you can do in KvCore. You can have this presentation made for different reasons. You could just want to show the comps only. You could, it could be that you're doing this for a buyer and, you know, you want to make the presentation tailored to a buyer. It could be a follow-up as, you know, you had a conversation with someone, told them you were going to make a CMA. So this would be built as a follow-up to that conversation. And by me clicking on any of these, it's going to rearrange all this information we've compiled, all the comps and everything, and make it, arrange it in a way that makes sense based on what I chose. So let's say we're creating a pre-listing package. Okay, we're about to list the property, and this is something I'm building for the seller beforehand. So I'm going to click here, and that will include 16 pages of information. If I click that, it'll apply that change to it. And now we have the pre-listing package highlighted. You could change the fonts. You have plenty of options to choose from. Let's choose crimson text. That looks nice. And language, self-explanatory. Okay. If you're helping a Spanish-speaking client, this is really powerful. It'll actually change up the text to be in Spanish. If it's English from Canada, you have that. I don't know why there's 2 different Canadian English and 2 US, but just choose the one that fits what you're trying to do. So then down here, actually, let's start on the left side. Right here, these are all the pages that are not included in your presentation. And of course, based on the template you choose, it will include certain pages and or exclude others. If you want to show all of the information, whether it's relevant or not, you could just click on all pages. And this will include all of the information that, you know, is available to you as far as the CMA goes. We're only doing a pre-listing package, so it already knows what to include. But you can go ahead and come on this left side right here and actually add, you know, specific pages that you would like to add. So we have an introduction section. If you click on the little eye right here, you can see what that looks like. You know, if you want a page like this to be added to the presentation, it'll have, you know, a map of the area in question, the address, and prepared for me, because that's the name I put on there. And down here, it'll have your contact info. I'll actually show you how to give all this information to the Cloud CMA software, because otherwise there won't be anything here for you. Okay. Yeah, so you can add pages to the presentation by clicking the plus icon under the additional content section. You have setup, the summary of comparable properties, you have listings, more photos. If you click on the little eye, obviously it'll show you what that looks like. Looks like there's nothing for me in that page. And testimonials, if you have plenty of those, you can add those on there. If you have Zillow reviews, that can be added automatically. Pretty cool stuff. And then on here, these are all the pages that are added. So if I was to add something right here, let's say I press the plus, that will, be added to my presentation. And if I don't want that page anymore, I could just press the little minus and it'll take it out. So to view what your presentation looks like, just a preview of each page, click the little eye next to on this section right here. So this will show me the first page of my presentation, has a cool map of the area prepared for the client and all my info. And if you want to edit the information within that, you can come here and press edit, and you'll be able to change the title of that page. So this is just a title. So I'm going to save that. And then you have a cover letter option. If I click the little eyeball, you can see the cover letter. By default, it'll have something pre-written for you. But if you don't like what this says, you can click edit. And you have a whole text editor right here where you can put, something you already built or written out. Okay. But it has some pretty cool stuff in there already for you. Looks like there's some typos. Interesting. But yeah, you can have this automatically built into your presentation. And it separates you from, 80% of the other agents out there who don't take the time to make these for their clients. You don't want to be the typical agent. You want to be the agent, the one they think of, the professional one, the one that goes above and beyond. You got to hustle and make sure you know about all this stuff. All right, saved. I'm going to click X. Just like all of these other slides right here, you can edit them, or you could see what they look like. And yeah, I've already uploaded a profile photo, email, and everything. Again, I'll show you guys how to input your info, but it compiles all this information for you automatically, which is pretty cool. Okay. Let me make sure we don't have any questions in the chat. No, we're good. All right, so once you have all of the pages that you want and you've looked through all of them and you're happy with it, you're going to publish, click on Publish Report right here. Okay, that'll load up and take you to this screen right here. So on this screen, you have two options to view this yourself. So if I click on, let's start with live. If I click on View Live, this will take us to the live view of what the CMA looks like. Okay, and the client themselves will be able to see this, but you can also take a look and check it out. You can share this link with them, but I'll show you other ways to share it, which are much quicker. So this is what we've just built, comparative market analysis for this address prepared for me. Okay, the client will be able to see a resume about you, about your company. They can see what a CMA is. This is all information we've included in our CMA and the presentation. They can click on any of these boxes. So if they want to learn more about the MLS, they could click here. And they even get a nice pre-made video that tells them what the MLS is. Okay, and they can click through the slides right here. There's a marketing action plan. This is all, everything you see here, you can edit this. This doesn't have to be your marketing plan, but it has something pre-built for you in there, which is pretty cool. It goes down to first week, second week, third week, and ongoing activities. Pretty detailed stuff. And these are things we should be doing anyway, or are standard. So feel free to add more or remove things you are not doing for that specific listing. It goes through every single thing. Commission distribution, intelligent pricing and timing, has all the graphs for you. All this is great information for them to read. I encourage you guys to also read through these and, learn things you might not have known, maybe strategies that are here that you don't know of before you share it to the client. Because obviously you don't want to share this with someone and not know what's in it. So make sure you get familiar with what's included in these presentations. Okay, so I'm going to close this tab right here. So that was the live view. If you want to view this as a PDF, you can do so also by clicking here, and it'll take you to a page and open that up as a PDF file. If I'm just going to scroll through here real quick. As you remember, we chose, cover letter. This is that. A quick resume. I don't have anything on there because we just created this. And about our company, obviously for us, well, most of us, this would be eXp Realty. If you have another brokerage, you can upload that logo right here, and contacts information. And if I keep scrolling, we'll actually get to the comps. Okay, it'll have their address, the prices, all their photos, really cool stuff. And under the live view, let me go back there again. They actually can interact with the listings, click and flip through the photos. Let's see where it is. Comps right here. If they click on comps, they have this nice layout of everything. They have their subject property on the side, and they can scroll through all of the comps that have closed and get an idea of what properties that are like the subject ones are selling for, what the differences are. And yeah, they can click through, flip through the photos. Really cool stuff. Oh, I'm going in the trash. And I'm going to cancel this. We're going to go back. And yeah, they have all this at their disposal. They can flip through the maps view, see everything in their area. This is the subject property right here. And they can click through everything and see all the information they wish to see. Okay, so I'm going to close this, and then we're back here. So this is the action page where you get to share everything. You can email this report straight from here. If I click on this, it'll have a section where you could just type in an email address and have it sent there automatically. You can have them see this as a PDF, a live report, just like we just seen, or a slideshow also. You could check that. All this is free. Type in an email address, click send, and then they have that in their inbox. And you can even see a preview right here of what the email would look like. It'll have, this little pop-up right here. They can view it as a PDF, view live, or view slideshow. And if I was to uncheck, some of these, it will refresh right here. So this is what they would see. Even has my smart number from KvCore down there. If you don't want to send it through here and you want to send it through your email app, maybe you have the mail app on your MacBook or Gmail, you could click on here and it'll open that up in your computer for you to send already, which is pretty cool stuff. So if I close that, that concludes how to build a presentation using the Cloud CMA. Do we have any questions before I move on to the last software, which is Cloud Streams? Did that make any sense? Hopefully.
Yes, I've created one actually.
Yeah.
Shane, my coach, that was one of the first things he taught me. So I was just like,
Oh.
I was a little, yeah, I know, I was surprised. He's like, okay, no, go here, create this. Yeah, he helped me create a profile for a listing appointment I had. Well, I mean, hoping it would be a listing appointment, but it was an appointment.
Okay.
But yeah, so I kind of I learned how to do that. It's really cool.
It sure is. And, it makes you more confident because you have all the information you can ever need when going to those instead of wondering or, scrambling around for information. This is a really cool thing to have under your belt. So I totally agree. Okay. Oh, can't forget, when you log into these at the top right, you'll have, you're not going to have your photo at first. You'll click on whatever shows here, and then you could go to account settings. Okay. So once you go to account settings, this is the section where you can actually upload your profile photo, put an email on there, company name. For me, this is actually eXp Realty. I didn't create my brokerages yet. One day. eXp Realty, You can upload a logo of your brokerage also. For all marketing material, make sure you have your, license number and your company logo. Just abide by all the rules. Don't get in trouble. And then once you have all that filled in, let me get my full name on there and then save. And you'll get a little message down here when the changes are saved. And under contact info, this is very important. If you don't do anything else, make sure you fill in this section, because everything you send out, you want people to be able to contact you. You want them to find a way to reach out to you. So you'll get a drop down right here. You can select the method through which you can be contacted. Whether that be a blog, I don't know how that would work. Or maybe it's probably a link. You could put your license number, email, Facebook, mobile phone, all that fun stuff. Add it in here and then click add, and it will populate down here. Pretty cool stuff. And you can flip through all these right here. Make sure to create a password that you can remember. MLS credentials. This should be already filled in for you. If not, make sure to put your MLS password and user ID so that it can, communicate with your CRMLS and pull all those listings for you. Okay. And all this stuff you won't have to worry about. It should already be filled in for you. Okay. And then integrations. If you have, Zillow or Testimonial Tree or any of these third-party services, you can add them on here and also use them with the Cloud CMA. And billing, this should be free, so you shouldn't see any information here other than cancel. Okay. So this is the Cloud CMA tool to build presentations. It's pretty cool stuff. Now we're going to go back to the Launchpad and we will conclude with the Cloud Streams. Let me go ahead and shut this noise off. All right. So we've learned about Cloud CMA. We've learned about Cloud MLX. Now we're going to do Cloud Streams. This is a really cool feature. Might take some getting used to, but I do want to show it anyways. Maybe if we get more questions about it, I'll do a more thorough video on how this works. But Cloud Streams is, how do you explain it? It's basically a way for you to send search alerts or, send updates for a certain area to clients. And what the Cloud Stream allows you to do is actually see how they're interacting with the listings within that search, or, what properties they like, or what area they decide to look in. I'll actually show this to you guys so you know how it works. So the way we would start is by actually creating a stream. At first, you guys won't see anything in here. I was just playing around with it and I created a user called John Doe. So don't mind that. So I'm going to create a stream and it's going to ask you for an address. So this is the address or the area you wish to create a, alerts for. So let's say we're looking at, what's a city I never use? Lomita. Let's go to Lomita. Not this place. Let's do Lomita. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to apply. So right here, we're looking at all of the listings in Lomita, but chances are the person you're working with is looking for something specific, something that they would call home. Maybe a specific price range, a specific amount of beds, square feet, bathrooms, etc. So let's just populate some generic information in there. Let's say between 650 to 700,000. We'll press apply. Oh, wow, there's only one property. Let me broaden the search a little bit. Still. Oh, how much do properties cost in Lomita? Let's see. Maybe more expensive or less expensive. All right. Okay, there seems to be only one property in Lomita. Interesting. Let me try another city. Maybe it's something I'm doing. Lawndale. Apply. So we're looking for residential properties in Lawndale between 200K to 700K. And this is all we have right now that's active, okay? And let's say we are looking for 2 to 3 beds. Can apply. And we'll leave the other filters, but you get the gist of it. You just want to be as specific as possible for what your client is looking for and generate a, an area with listings that your client might be interested in. So once you have all that set up, you're going to click on Set Up Alerts. And once I do so, it will think for a little bit, and then it'll bring up this pop-up right here. So they're called streams. I don't know why they call it that, but that's what they are. So you can give a name to this stream. So let's just say this stream is for myself. Okay, I'll just say KvCore's. Oops, let's get that cap out of there. KvCore's stream. Okay, so I'm going to press enter and get that saved. So what this is going to do is, based on this search criteria right here, any new properties that come in the market within that area that matches everything I've just, listed up there with the 2 to 3 bed in that price range, it will actually automatically follow up with my client with that property without me doing anything. And I can have that, just like I said, be automatic, or I can curate what gets sent to them. Okay, so what that would do basically is, once something comes on the market in Lawndale, it's a residential property within this price range and this many beds, it will send that information to me over text or email. This is if it's curated. It'll send that information to me first, and then I have the option to send that to my clients or not send it. If I choose automatic, it'll just automatically send everything to the client directly. Okay, so let's choose automatic right here. And then you can invite clients to be part of this stream. So this could be anyone you're working with. Let's say you're working with John Doe. I love to use John Doe. I already have John Doe in there, actually. Let's call this myself. And then you would put the person's email in here, and then you would send them an invite. Okay. So whenever there's a change or something new comes in this, within this search result, you can have it notify you as well by clicking on the mail icon or the text icon, however you would like to get notified. It could be real time. As soon as they hit, that area, they come up on the market, you'll get an email right away. Or you could get a daily email with a summary of everything that came on the market or was sold or whatever is going on, weekly or just never, if you don't want to get any notifications. If you want to get texted to, be immediately notified, you can also do that with a real-time text option. I'm just going to do real-time email, and then you can go ahead and add clients to this with their email. So let me just put my email in here, and then you will click send invite. Okay. And then that will get sent to them. They'll get an email saying, hey, would you like to be part of the stream? And you can send these after having, had a conversation with them and kind of what they're looking for. And you can send them an email saying, I created this stream for you, or this search alert for you. You'll automatically get notified every single time something comes on the property that matches what you're looking for. So now that we've created that stream, we're going to click up here on streams at the top middle. And this is all the streams you have created. Okay. So this is the one we just made. If I go ahead and click on that, you will see whatever changes happen or, what's going on in that area at the moment. So nothing changed just yet because we just made it right now, but this is how you see all of the streams you have created. Okay. And then up here, you have a client section. If I click on this, you can manually add a client, or you can also add clients by, creating the stream and then inviting them through that section where we just did myself. So for John Doe, for example, if I go ahead and click on that, this is something I created earlier. you'll be able to see how they've interacted with the listings within that stream. So whenever they view something, you'll be able to see, hey, such and such viewed this property, 3 hours ago. They can comment on the properties. Maybe if they like something about it, they can, type something and you can see that. Whatever they like, whatever area they're looking for, you can kind of see how they're interacting with each of the properties, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you can see their activity, their streams, what they've liked. It compiles all that information for you so that you can always refer to it. And yeah, they don't have any recommended because they have not interacted with a lot of properties just yet, but that is also there for you to check out, which is pretty cool. And if we go back to activity right here, this is just a summary of everything that's been going on with all of your clients. You get to see all the comments they've made, all the properties they've liked, how many places they've viewed, and how many alerts they've gotten based on the emails that have been sent out. It's pretty cool stuff. Any questions about Cloud Streams? How are you guys doing on that? Did that make any sense, guys?
Yeah, that's just another. And I didn't know that. Thank you for going into that. I never even actually took the time to look at Cloud Streams, so that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's some cool stuff.
Thank you. Yeah.
And on here, let me show you one more thing. If I go ahead and open up the Cloud MLX, and remember, you could get to these features by through here by clicking on the little boxes with the features, or if you open any three of these, you can always click on the little arrow right here and go to the Launchpad, and it'll take you to those features just like this. Okay, I'm going to open up the Cloud MLX once more. And they actually interact with each other, which is pretty cool. If I go up to my searches up here, and remember we created this search together, I believe. I think it was called Tech Tuesday. I might have deleted it by mistake. But on here, if I was to click on this search, I can actually click the little three dots and make a cloud stream automatically through here. Okay, that'll open up the Cloud Stream page and you'll be able to create a stream based on that. Okay, it automatically filled in all of that information that we had up here. If you see torrents 2 to 5, everything I put on here, it's going to appear right here. Pretty cool. And from here, you can set up alerts, very simple. And then just in the same way we created a stream, you can name it whatever you want. We can have it be automatic and then invite clients to be notified whenever there's any changes. So they're all connected, and I really love the interface, and it's pretty simple. You just set it up and let it do its thing. Okay. That is the power of the cloud stuff. They're all called cloud. Looks like we have a question. Oh, we have a question in the chat. So if you guys want to rewatch these videos in case you want more clarity or I was moving a little too fast, I'm going to paste the link to the YouTube channel where I post these, so you can always refer to them. And these are not just the Tech Tuesdays. I'll also be posting, random videos such as how to, upload your contacts, and I'll break up the videos into little sections in case you want to only focus on certain things whenever I get a chance, such as, let's see, it's not letting me do it. There we go. So the dashboard overview of KvCore, the listing section, and this is only going to grow over time. You can always refer to it at any time. So I just dropped the link to that in the chat. Make sure to subscribe to it if you don't want to miss any of the Tech Tuesdays I do or any future videos. You can always refer to these and yeah, comment under them if you have any questions. I'll write them down and get back to you. And also, let me not forget to drop my contact info. You guys can reach me anytime if you have any questions about anything. I get a few people that call me all the time, and I help them out every time I can. So I'm going to drop my contact info here also. 1 second. All right. So my contact info is also in the chat. Okay. Do we have any questions, anyone? I know we're not as many today as other Tech Tuesdays, but I hope this was some stuff you didn't know about, or maybe you learned something new today. Close all this stuff. All right. So we've learned the Cloud Streams, we've learned the MLX, and we have learned about how to make presentations. All this is for free, included in your MLS subscription. Okay. And you get to that by logging into your CRMLX, and you see them right here, all three of them.
Are there
Mhm.
apps for these? Like, can we do these on our phone?
That is actually a really good question. I would assume so. Let me check right now, actually. I'm on my iPhone. So Cloud MLX. I don't see it on the App Store, maybe on the Google Store, but it seems to be, at least from what I've seen, just here. Because typically they'll recommend you download their application, which I don't see. Yeah, it's probably just on the computer, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, I
Yeah.
have the CRMLS app on my phone, and yeah, it's limited.
Yeah. Maybe one day, but so far it's just on the web browser. So maybe you can access these using your phone by logging in, through your web browser. It might not look as good or be as responsive, but that's one way you can access these on your phone. Or if you have an iPad, it might look actually pretty great there. I've tried it. It looks amazing. So iPad, computers are going to be the best experience you're going to have with this. Phone, it might still work, but might not look as good, and you might have some bugs on there. And that's a good question, though. Anybody else have any questions? We just hit the hour mark. I want to make sure I get all the questions, even if it's not related to this. Ask away. And I want to make sure I talk about things you guys want to know. So maybe you have suggestions for the next Tech Tuesday. Are we all good on social media? KvCore, maybe some CRMLS stuff we could do. Gets pretty confusing with some features on here too. But yeah, going once, going twice. Any more questions? Awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening to me for an hour. It was great having you guys. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Like I said, links are in the chat for the YouTube and my contact information. And with that being said, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night.
Thank you, as always.
Thank you.
stuff.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Kay. Thank you. Have a
Appreciate
good
it.
night, everybody.
Alrighty. Bye-bye, guys.